Assalamu alaikum. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. This is virtual class of Pakistan International School, Taif. I am Ms. Bushra Tanveer. This is Pak Studies class for grade 9. This is our first video of Pak Studies class. In this video, we shall do chapter number 2, Making of Pakistan. Dear students, after today's lesson, we shall be able to understand the text given in chapter 2. We shall be able to do the question answers given in the exercise of chapter 2. Dear students, today we shall do the chapter number 2. As you know that few topic or subheading from this chapter you have studied in 9th junior. In this video we shall continue chapter number 2. The few topic from the beginning till page 37 you have done in 9th junior. So today we shall start chapter 2 from page number 38, Making of Pakistan. The subheading of page 38, Interim Government. We shall start our today's lesson from here. Dear students, interim government 1946 to 47. It was pertinent that Viceroy should have invited Muslim League to form interim government because Muslim League had accepted the whole of the plan. It was stated in the plan that if any major political party agrees to the plan, it will be implemented, but this could not be done. The Viceroy of India invited both All Indian National Congress as well as All India Muslim League to form the government. He assigned the office of Prime Ministership to Pandit Nehru. Unethically, according to plan, Congress and Muslim League had to nominate 6 and 5 ministers respectively. Congress started to constitute the cabinet. Pandit Nehru invited Muslim League to nominate 5 members. Dear students, in this subheading, first of all, subheading is given interim government. Interim government means the government which was appointed, we can say, or made for provisionally or on temporary basis or as a caretaker for the time being, means the formation of the government for the short time period. Formation of interim government was the first step towards the implementation of the cabinet mission plan. Actually, this government was made by the Viceroy of the British, and the Viceroy of the British, Lord Bevell. The Viceroy made an announcement in this regard in June 1946. He said that the government shall be formed even one of the two major Indian parties means the Muslim League or Congress decided to abstain or accept. In this case, an alternative arrangement shall be made. The Muslim League agreed to join the proposed interim government, but Congress declined or denied. The Viceroy should have invited the Muslim League to form government after Congress' refusal, but he failed to keep his promise. On this break of trust, the Muslim League decided to withdraw its approval of the Cabinet Mission Plan and announced that direct action day was the only course left open for her. Although the Congress had not accepted the Cabinet Mission, on August 12, 1946, the Viceroy invited Pandit Nehru and he assigned Pandit Nehru as the Prime Minister, and the Muslims throughout India were appealed to protest, and Muslim dignitaries have British title were asked to surrender their title to register protest against the government. Means all the Muslims were ready or appealed to protest against the British government. The appeal proved very effective. The Muslims expressed this resentment through protest rallies and processions taken out in all of India. After holding dialogue with the Viceroy of India, Quaid-e-Azam Rahmatullah Alayh showed his willingness to cooperate with him. Muslim League announced to play its role after joining the government. The 5 ministers from Muslim League were as under: Liaquat Ali Khan, Abdurrab Nashtar, Ibrahim Ismail, Raja Gazamfar Ali Khan, and Jogendra Nath Mandal. These are the 5 ministers from the Muslim League who joined this interim government, and when the circumstances were out of control, then later on, under the changed circumstances, the government was inclined to think that it would not be possible to form a viable government while keeping the Muslim League out of it. The government invited the Muslim League to join, and it did. On October 26, 1946, 5 Prime Ministers from the Muslim League took oath of office, and these Prime Ministers played a vital role in the interim government. And in these Prime Minister, Muslim League also took the one Hindu as a leader, and that Jogendra belonged to the untouchable caste, which the Hindus thought the Achut of Hindus. Actually, the Muslim League want to prove that it was not only played the role of protector of rights of the Muslims, means the Muslim League is not only the party of the Muslims, but also it plays the important role for the protect of the minorities. So that reason the Muslim League took one Hindu as a leader in his party or in the cabinet. Dear students, now we shall see the next subheading, 3rd June Plan 1947, the failure of Lord Wavell. As Viceroy, Lord Wavell could neither make his plan a success nor cabinet mission met with success. In order to please and gain the favor of the Congress, an attempt to implement half of the cabinet mission plan was made. Without the group of provinces, formation of interim government and constitution framing process was started. Quaid-e-Azam allowed the Muslim League to participate in the interim government expediently, but he decided to boycott the Legislative Assembly. He wanted to implement the whole of the plan. Yes, students, here we shall discuss about the failure of the Lord Wavell plan. The Lord Wavell plan and the cabinet mission, both plans were failed because when the Muslims joined to the cabinet mission plan, but the Congress denied or declined, and the Quaid-e-Azam ordered the Muslim that they have to be participate in the interim government, but they boycott the Legislative Assembly, and he wanted to implement the whole of the plan. So what was the outcomes or the result of that? When the Muslims boycott the Legislative Assembly, then the British government replaced Lord Wavell by Lord Mountbatten. In March 1947, he was sent to India as the Viceroy when the implement process of transfer of power was at the last stage. Negotiation with political leaders. At last, the British government started its final planning to wind up its power. The British Prime Minister sent Lord Mountbatten to the subcontinent with clear instructions. Immediately after his arrival, he met important leaders and held negotiation with them. He met Nawabs and Rajas of princely states. He realized that no solution other than partition could be found. So Lord Mountbatten also sent to the subcontinent to negotiate with the political parties, and after that, what was the result? The leader of the Congress started to think that two-nation theory is a reality, and Lord Mountbatten and has the good relation or the personal relation with Nehru. So the Lord Mountbatten and the Congress know that Lord Mountbatten sympathies and affectionate friend. So the Lord Mountbatten was planned by Congress in collaboration with to complete the process of partition in such a manner. Lord Mountbatten, with the help of his staff, started framing the basic principle of partition, and Lord Mountbatten took the scheme prepared in secret with Congress to London for approved by the British government. Dear students, now we shall see the main points of the 3rd June plan. The government made the decision to the partition the subcontinent, acknowledging the principal stand of the establishment of two states. The government settled the detail and developed the program regarding the future of the various provinces and states. The first subheading, or the first we can say the decision, the Punjab and the Bengal province. The Provincial Legislative Assembly of Punjab and Bengal were to meet in two groups, Muslim majority district and non-Muslims. The member of two parts of each legislative assembly sitting separately will be empowered to vote whether or not the province should be partitioned, and if any of the two decided in favor of the division of the province, then the Governor General would appoint a boundary commission to demarcate the province. Actually, the decision was taken by the both parties, and then the boundaries should be pointed by the Governor General, or the Governor General would appointed a boundary commission after the agreement of the both parties, or to decide in favor of the division of the province. The Northwest Frontier Province Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, a referendum would be held in the Northwest Frontier Province to ascertain whether they wish to join Pakistan or India. The political issue of the tribal areas would be settled by the government that is formed after the referendum. It means that the province Khyber Pakhtunkhwa was also the right that he want or he joined the any party, means the All India Muslim League, or he joined the Pakistan. So the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa wished to join the Pakistan, not India. The next, Sindh Assembly also have the right. You can say the Sindh Assembly would decide the future state of the province through the majority of the vote. It would be decided whether the province wished to join or Pakistan or India. The European member of Sindh Assembly would not have the right to vote. It means that Sindh Assembly also have the right that he can give the vote, or by the voting he can choose that he want to join the Pakistan or India, and the European member of the Sindh Assembly have no right to give the vote. Then the next is Balochistan. On that time Balochistan had not given the status of the province. So according to the plan, the opinion of the Quetta municipality and Shahi Jirga would be decided to join the Pakistan. The official member would not be included in voting. So the Balochistan was also wished to be the part of the Pakistan. The district of Sylhet in Assam has majority Muslims population. According to plan, it was decided to hold referendum in Sylhet. The referendum would be conducted after the partition of Bengal into parts. If the majority of the Muslims decided to join the East Bengal, they would form a part of Sylhet, Pakistan. So Sylhet was also the part of Pakistan, and they wished that he will be the part of Pakistan. And also the referendum was held over there, and the referendum, after the conduction of the referendum, the Sylhet was the part of the Pakistan because most of the population was Muslim in that area. Non-Muslim majority province, that was Bihar, Orissa, UP, CP, Bombay and Madras, that would be included in the India. Princely states, there were 635 such states in the subcontinent as were ruled by the Nawabs or the Rajas. Some important states including Jammu Kashmir, Kapurthala, Bikaner, Hyderabad, Dakkan, Sawat, Dir, Patiala, Bahawalpur and Junagadh. These states were also given the option to decide their future and join the country of their own choice, because these states were overruled by the Nawabs and the Rajas. So they have the free option that if they want, they can join any of the two parties, means with the Pakistan or with India. Implementation of the 3rd June plan. Majority of the members of the Provincial Assembly of Pakistan voted in favor of Pakistan. It was decided to divide the Punjab, and task was assigned to a boundary commission. A British advocate, Sir Radcliffe, was appointed a chairman of commission. 2 Muslim judges. Yes students, there is also the other text given in your book. It is very easy for you to understand, so you can read it by yourself, and this is very easy for you to understand. Here is also the implementation of the 3rd June plan, how this plan was implemented in the different provinces. A referendum was conducted in Northwest Frontier Province. The majority of the people decided in favor of Pakistan. All India Muslim League won a historical success. So Muslim League leaders Sardar Abdul Nashtar and Khan Abdul Qayyum, Pir Manki Tor, whole of the provinces, means these people or the leaders, they toward the travel in the different provinces, and then the NWFP became the part of Pakistan. In district Sylhet, a referendum was conducted. Muslim League launched a campaign. Leaders like Maulana Bahasani Chaudhry, Fazlul Qadir and Sabur Khan worked hard day and night. The people decided in favor of Pakistan. We had already discussed about the Sylhet or district Sylhet in our previous topic. So the next one, it was decided that the province like Assam, we also have discussed this paragraph, that these provinces was the part of India because in these provinces the Hindus were in majority and the Muslims were in less in number. There were 635 princely states in the subcontinent. A large number of these states joined one either of the two countries, and these states were Jammu Kashmir, Hyderabad, Deccan, Janagadh, Mangrol and the Manavadar. Princely states, I told you that princely state means the states which were ruled by the Nawabs or the Rajas, means these states were not under the Muslim League or not under the Indian government or not under the All Indian Congress. Dear students, now we shall see the next paragraph, Quaid-e-Azam role in making of Pakistan. The personality of Quaid-e-Azam changed the fate of the Muslims in the South Asia. He compelled the British as well as the Hindus to partition India. Quaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah was born on 25th December, and he is also discussed about the early life of Quaid-e-Azam, that the Quaid-e-Azam when he was born and what was his father's name and from where he got his education. Now we shall discuss about the services of Quaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah. As you know that in 1906 Quaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah joined the All Indian National Congress, because on that time he thought that Congress was also in the favor of Muslim, but when he joined the Congress after a short time he realized that Congress is only in the favor of Hindus, not for the Muslims. So in Quaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah in 1913, Quaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah when Muhammad Ali Johar convinced and also Sayyid Wazir Hussain convinced the Quaid-e-Azam to join the Muslim League. So in 1913 Quaid-e-Azam joined the Muslim League in 1913, and here we shall discuss about the services rendered by Quaid-e-Azam, means the struggle and the effort which the Quaid-e-Azam did for the Pakistan. The first one, under Lucknow Pact, Quaid-e-Azam united both of nations, the Hindus and the Muslims. In 1916, he got the right of separate electorates for the Muslims acknowledged and got the title of Ambassador of Peace. Means that in 1916, Quaid-e-Azam united both the Hindus and the Muslims, and because the Quaid-e-Azam know that when the Muslim will not be close to the Hindus, then the Muslim cannot be get the separate state. He along with Hindu leader Gokhale demand new constitutional reforms in 1913. Again in 1919 his effort for the Montagu-Chelmsford reforms are of the great significance. This was also the great effort for the Quaid-e-Azam for the partition of the subcontinent. and for the struggle of the Muslim. In 1919, Sir Sidney Rolt got an act passed. It was named as the Rolt Act. It was a black law. The administration was given unlimited power and civil rights were trodden upon. Quaid-e-Azam raised his voice against it. He wrote to the Viceroy Lord Chelmsford, in my opinion, the government that passes or sanctions such a law in times of peace forfeits its claim to be called a civilized government. In Delhi Muslim proposal in 1927, Quaid-e-Azam withdrew the right of the separate electorate and gave an indication to cooperate with Congress, but it could not be fulfilled. So in 1919, Quaid-e-Azam was also took the, we can say, the decision or raised his voice against the decision which was taken by the Sidney Rolt, and he also wrote the or message to the Viceroy that after this decision we can be say that the British government is the civilized government, and he also proposed that in 1927 the separate electorate and also an indication to cooperate with Congress, but it not be fulfilled. He rejected Nehru report in 1928 and presented Hyde 14 points in 1929 which determined the goal of the Muslims. The next effort for Quaid-e-Azam, he participated in Round Table Conference and maintained the national identity of the Muslims. The next struggle and the effort, he injected a new life into the dead body of the Muslim League in 1935 to 36 and guided the freedom movement. In 1937, Congress, on account of its majority, formed ministries in 7 out of 11 provinces and tried to inflict injuries to the Muslims socially and politically. Quaid-e-Azam used his political foresight and faced these conspiracies gallantly. At last, Congress resigned from ministries. Therefore, on 22nd December 1939, Jinnah put out an appeal calling for Indian Muslims to observe a day of deliverance and thanksgiving as a mark of relief. The next effort for Quaid-e-Azam, in October 37, Quaid-e-Azam was unanimously accepted as a leader in Muslim League session at Lucknow. After it, Quaid-e-Azam toured the length and breadth of country on the emergency basis. Means that on that time Quaid-e-Azam traveled in the different area of the countries to just evoke the Muslims or to realize the Muslims that the Muslims who can get the separate state in this subcontinent. In his address at Manto Park in the session of Muslim League, he explained the two-nation theory that became the basis of Pakistan. So also in the Minto Park, now where is called, we can say, the Pakistan resolution was passed, and that was the basic, we can say, or the first step for the partition of or for making the Pakistan. From 1940 to 1945, on one side he made many efforts for reconciliation between the government and the political parties, and on the other side between the Muslim League and Congress. Means that he also took the great efforts to, you can say, reconciliation or to combine the government with the political parties, and also on the other side he also united the Muslim League and the Congress, because he knew that without this the Muslim can be get the his status in the subcontinent. It was the fruit of his effort that Muslim League met with success in 1945-6 election. He made all the conspiracies of Hindus and the British unsuccessful. At last, Lord Mount presented 3rd June 1947 plan promising to establish Pakistan, and Pakistan came into being on the 14 August 1947. So it was the great effort, we can say that it was the fruit of the effort of the Quaid-e-Azam or the Muslim League, that on 14 August 1947 Pakistan came into being on this subcontinent or on the earth. Dear students, now we shall see the short question answer. Narrate the standpoints of the Quaid-e-Azam on Revolt Act 1919. The answer is given in front of you on the computer screen. You can read the answer. Each and everything is clear for you, or it is very easy to understand you because we have discussed this in the lesson also. Next question. How did the India occupy Kashmir? There were 635 princely states in the subcontinent. The answer is in front of you on the screen. You can see the answer and you can learn the answer from here. The next short question. How did Quaid-e-Azam get the title of ambassador? Under Lucknow Pact, Quaid-e-Azam united both of the nations, Hindu and Muslim. In 1916, he got the right of separate electorate for the Muslims acknowledged and got the title of ambassador of peace. Dear students, learn and write the question answers which we are done today's lesson, and also from the chapter 2 short question answer and the long answer of the long questions I shall share with you on your WhatsApp group. I shall send the notes on your WhatsApp group. You can see the answer, or you can get the answer for the short question and for the long from that group. I shall send you the link also for that notes. See you in the next video. Goodbye.